So we'll just prompt you for logging in, and then you can go in at any time you need, and we'll highlight a few areas for you and a few tips and strategies to get off to a great start here at Flinders, particularly with your career in mind. So you should come in and sort of see this opening page. So you'll see we've got tons of resources on finding a job, building your skills and networks, getting yourself job ready, and you can see across the top career planning resources, what's on for our events, and also your application and interview resources there as well. Do come on in. We're just exploring CareerHub via the Okta dashboard. Let's put that all into some context in terms of where you're at with your career. So with the people in the room right now, who's coming into an undergraduate bachelor degree? So a few of you. Who's coming into postgraduate studies? And again, quite a few of you. So you all bring your own career story and your own set of experiences and aspirations. So some of you might actually be starting careers, some of you might be changing careers, or maybe you've got experience in your sector already and you're upskilling. So you might have been around this whole process of managing your qualification set, your study, your learning, your employment experiences, and your leisure. Because in fact, that's what career development is. It's all of those things, and all of those things taken together make you the unique individual that you are. So it's also about understanding and assessing yourself. What are your drivers, your goals, your aspirations? What are your values? What impact do you want to make as you go through your career? So, and what's driving you to be here today? To commence your studies here? What do you hope for from those studies? Because you want to keep that in mind throughout your studies so that you are progressively building and developing and growing so that you are ready to apply for those dream jobs as you reach the final stages of your degree. So that also means starting to set aside some time to explore what those options are. You might have some ideas already. You might have a job title in mind. You might be open to what that could be when you complete your studies. But you can still be going in to start to explore what exactly might those options be and what are employers looking for in those areas. So that's exploring the options, because then that's going to guide you in terms of, I really need to connect or collect some of these experiences. It'd be great if I could get some sector experience here, or maybe I want to do some volunteering there, or I really want to have a look for some leadership roles that I could take on, be that on campus or in the community. So you're starting to identify how you want to grow that unique sense of you in terms of what your offer will be. And you're in the situation as you're starting, you can map this out over your entire time at Flinders. So you're starting to plan that growth and development. But then you've got to market it. You've got to keep a current resume, maybe get on LinkedIn and keep that really up to date as you keep adding to your experiences. You want to develop the interview skills. So you need to know, well, how do employers recruit in my area and what skill sets do I need to develop there? And then you're performing, and then you might be repeating that cycle throughout your lifelong career. So we have resources for all of those areas on CareerHub, okay? No matter what stage you are at. So I think a really useful way just to benchmark yourself right now is to have a look at this circle diagram and to think of yourself in 4 parts. So we're going to divide you into 4 parts. So one is your qualifications. Now, some of you are onto postgraduate, maybe some of you are completely starting that university journey. Some of you might have certificates or diplomas. So think about what all of that formal learning means for you, and maybe informal learning too. Think about the sector that you're targeting. What experiences do you have in that sector? You might be yet to develop those experiences, so you might be wanting to think about what those experiences could look like. Then it might be, well, what do I bring from my casual work or other career experiences? So who's working at the moment? A few. Who's looking for work? Yep, a few. Okay, again, CareerHub can help you with all of those things. But then there's also, who are you when you aren't working or studying? So that mixture of the learning, the work, the leisure, even your extracurricular activities can tell an employer things about you and also highlight other skill sets and qualities. In fact, sometimes the extracurricular experiences can help you stand out, as well as, if you're getting involved in campus life, helping you make connections and really sort of add to that experience of studying here at Flinders University. So you think about yourself in those areas, those 4 areas, where am I at now? And what ideas might I have about what I might want to do in each of those sectors? Okay, as you go along, you'll be reflecting on key learning experiences. But just keep that all up to date. So where can we help? On CareerHub, you'll find we have course-specific resources. So if you go into that application resources tab, you'll see course-specific resources. For most of the degree areas, we've got a page where it's a one-stop shop. We give you some links to research that area. We give you examples of employers following news, professional associations. So it's a way of kick-starting your career research. So that's one place. Sometimes we've got some specialised application and interview resources there as well, just depending on your area. You can look at jobs on CareerHub. Not just look at jobs, you can set up a job alert there as well, which I've highlighted there in the yellow. It's a really great idea to start monitoring jobs now. So you can set up some super efficient job search strategies. You've got lots of different job boards. Some are more relevant to some sectors than others, so start to explore that. Set up your profiles. Start to think about employers you might want to work with. Go onto their careers pages, set up a job alert, join their talent community, monitor what positions they have going. So you are informing yourself and putting yourself in the situation where you've got this information coming to you about, even if it's in a 2 years' time or 3 years' time, jobs that you might want to apply for. You are starting to learn who the employers are, what jobs you like, what you don't like, where you want to focus, what they're looking for. So you can just have that information coming to you in a really managed way. So you can start on CareerHub. We have employers who put jobs on there directly. There are some that are more for graduate recruitment, like Grad Connection and Prospel. Some that are more for the sort of community and social jobs, ethical jobs, and there's a whole range. Seek, Jobs Indeed. So we've got some tips for you about that on those course-specific pages. So start monitoring the jobs. That's just one example there. So you can start to, this is actually Department of Human Services graduate officer for 2025 and 2026. Again, what they were looking for, the sorts of projects you could be working on. And practically, I was having a look at that one today, practically they were looking for every degree area, or really quite a lot. So you can start to queue into those sorts of opportunities. That's just one example. And then thinking about, well, what can I do? What am I interested in? What can I manage in terms of my schedule? There's a load of things you can get involved with here at Flinders. You might have already heard about some of those opportunities through Orientation Week. There's loads of clubs and societies. You may well have placements in your course. You might be interested in taking on some volunteering in your sector. There could be opportunities to put your hand up to go, I want to be a student representative in my course, or be on a committee. So plenty of things you can do there. Starting to sign up to sector news. So who are the big players in your area? Who's expanding? Who's winning awards? Who's getting grants? Okay, so going beyond to just really, really learn about the world that you want to go into. So it might also be professional associations. So most study areas have a professional body, and student membership's usually quite discounted. There might be networking events and other opportunities you can tap into. So it's really about building up that diverse array of experiences alongside your academic studies. And again, at the commencement of the course, you can really map over the coming semesters, semester breaks, end of year breaks, what you might want to do and when. Okay, whether it's building up the casual work side, employers deeply value that, whether there's sector-based internships, summer vacation programs, as I said, the placements, vacation work, all kinds of things that you might be able to do. So starting to learn about what those opportunities could look like. Yeah, okay. So that's one example of volunteering. It's actually on campus, and that's with Oasis. So they have a community market there, and there's opportunities to volunteer with that. So there's even volunteering on campus, as well as loads of volunteering opportunities out there in community, sporting, cultural, artistic organisations. Again, it depends on what your interests are. Adelaide, South Australia is a huge state for events and festivals, and often there's volunteering that can go hand in hand with that. So there's those opportunities. Finding work whilst you study. Again, this is just one example that's on CareerHub, and that's for brand ambassador event staff. Okay. We also have a lot of contacts with employers, and we're often assisting them with recruitment. So getting onto the Careers Instagram will also keep you informed about what's happening. So it's really good if you can follow that. I mentioned vacation work. These are formalised programs, sometimes in the middle of the year, often at the end of the year, across a range of major employers where there is actually paid holiday work. So again, that's just one example of those opportunities. So just doing a little bit of research, starting to see, okay, I'm studying this, what might some possibilities be? I talked a bit about following sector news. There's a lot of free news you can sign up to. Again, whatever you're studying, whether you're in the arts, law, accounting, human resources, policy. The Conversation is another great way to follow news across practically any topic, discipline area that you can think of. So it's another way of just staying informed. I mentioned professional associations. So just to give you, again, just a range, it could be Biology Society of South Australia, $10 a year. Arts Hub have a free student membership. Australian Social Work, it's $57 a year. Nursing, they're doing $6 a month. So you need to just weigh up, is that worth my sort of expenditure? Is that something I want to do at this stage? If not, you might be able to follow their news and check out if there's any events. And, will I get that, the value return for that investment? So start to look into that as well. And your teachers here might also be able to give you some guidance as to some good ones to join. We've got some examples for you on CareerHub. So I mentioned that whole map of understanding yourself, assessing yourself, thinking about where you might want to go, what skill sets you're going to need, and then you need to think about, well, how am I going to market myself? So we have got plenty of resume resources for you. We've got samples, we've got templates, and we've got loads and loads of tips. We've got, again, for interview resources, we've got cover letter guides. So you can explore all of that and start to get yourself ready for those applications. It really doesn't hurt to have a professional version of your resume ready at all times, because you never know when an opportunity might come up. So You might have a resume you want to use for your casual jobs. That's going to be quite different to the one that's your professional identity. You might want to think about getting yourself onto LinkedIn, and that's another place that you can keep updated, make connections, and also follow jobs. So that's another thing to give some thought to as well. We've got some specialised support as well for students who identify as having disability. We have what we call USEP, Specialised University Program, and my colleague Sasha does more intensive consultations there. We also have a special page for a whole section of CareerHub actually for international students. And can I ask, do we have international students here? I'm sort of thinking we might do. I'd also really, really encourage you to connect to Study Adelaide. So some fantastic programs and opportunities there. So have a look into those areas as well of CareerHub. Loads of events. So coming up on the, let me see, is it the 7th of August, we have a Health and Community Services Fair. So we'll have tons of employers. It's really casual, relaxed. You can just wander around and have a chat to them. And some of them are really quite open to a range of disciplines as well. And plus we'll have sort of food and prizes and lots of things going on, as well as I think some free massages as well. So that's all happening. We got a virtual resume lab coming up. So if you want to draft that resume but maybe want to ask some questions, we're going to have virtual resume lab coming up in August, and then we'll have some in-person ones after that. And we've also got an online job confidence in a nutshell topic that you can take. So again, keep an eye out for those resources. So that's the Instagram. So you're welcome to jump onto that QR code and get yourself signed up. So my colleague Tracy works with student engagement, and she does a fantastic job of putting out some really interesting and engaging posts on Instagram. But that will also connect you into, we've got this coming up, or we've got this employer who's looking for students for this job. Okay? So that's a really great way to stay in touch. All right. So if you're career curious, hop onto CareerHub and start exploring what we've got available for you there. If you have questions, you can also find us on Ask Flinders. So we do have a presence on there, and we can pick up on career questions there as well. So just be aware that you can reach us on Ask Flinders. So that pretty well is everything I wanted to cover here. Just to encourage you and thank you all for tuning in and being here in person and really being open to thinking about your career and what that might look like and how you're going to get there. So just take a little bit of time after this presentation to think about what this might mean for you. Be aware there's loads of ideas and resources for you on CareerHub, and you can reach out to us if you've got any questions or need any assistance with any of that. So I do wish you all the very best for a fabulous time here at Flinders University. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I'll be around if you've got any questions directly now.
I feel you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All the best.
Because for some reason I realized
because it's school, I have to at least the school colleges. Since schools the ones who apply for my if we're gonna apply, I think this so the school. See you later. Over there. There's also another because my friend who is I arrived June 8th. Yeah, so I've been jobless. I have a job, but from back home, but it's because
I'm
with
also
your government.
working part-time to Sri Lanka, but then no.
Yeah, but it's not that
I
I'm
don't
not being
leave
paid yet because it's a new term by all of us, not because I'm
Did you
here.
open it here?
I actually just applied.
I did it yesterday only.
Yeah, almost. Just the other day. My husband had to be the one to do it for me.
Because I know it takes 28 days.
28 days. To another month of being jobless.
No, but they said I saw one point saying as long as you submit your TFN to your employer, within 28 days after going to work, that is okay. Yeah, so if it comes within 28 days, and if we are not working now, so maybe in 1 week, let's say we are going to work, so it will be anyway within 28 days. So that's not an issue.
All right.
So only if we are only going to open a business, do we need an ABN or?
Yeah. The thing is, ABN most of time they use for the partner. That means the dependent. Dependent can work for the ABN. That means we can put our all the salaries, and the thing is, dependent don't have any time limits for the work.
That's another one? ABN?
ABN.
Yeah,
Australian business number.
But as students, I think we can't use ABN to the maximum, but for the up to certain level we can use it.
I thought only entrepreneurs can.
No. It's for students and all the guys. We have to move 506, right?
Oh, the welcome tea. What time is it?
So we have
But anyway, my suggestion is we can have the ABN when we work in the vacation. It will be very useful.
So you don't when you can work more than
24 hours.
Correct.
506,
So
right?
did you apply for it also?
No, it can't be applied until we got
All right.
And the other thing
Yes, I also thought it's for, those who
we have to file
have business.
tax returns, they said. So this year we don't need to do.
Yeah, we don't need it.
Yeah, but when you're I met one Filipino in the bus on that day, and then she was like, when you are filing tax returns, you should make sure to mention medical entitlement. So that means they are normally charging 2% extra for insurance or medical purpose. So since we already have an insurance, we have an overseas health cover, we should mention specifically that we already have an insurance, so they won't charge that 2%. And then she was like, we have to improve the TFN.